bizarre stories from subscribers. My name is Jonathan, and I'm going to tell you about a creepy thing I saw happen, man. It was at my mom's work. She works at a public hospital downtown, a place that, at first glance, looked like it came from another era. The walls were peeling, the windows creaked with the wind, and the smell of cleaning products could barely mask the musty odor that lingered there. It was a super old worn-out hospital that looked like it hadn't been renovated in decades, Leo. I used to go there after school since my mom stayed until late, and it wasn't uncommon for me to get lost in those poorly lit hallways. Sometimes the only sound that broke the silence was the distant echo of a machine running, a heart monitor beeping, or a phone ringing incessantly somewhere far away. On one of those days, something happened that never left my mind. I was in my mom's room, drawing anything just to pass the time, while she was typing the report on a computer that looked almost as old as the hospital. Suddenly, the sound of the fax machine started to go off. The curious thing is that in that hospital, the fax was hardly used anymore. It was a relic left behind in some corner, dusty and almost forgotten there. The fax machine started printing. My mother looked at me, surprised nobody used that anymore. She asked if I had called, but I said no. When the paper finally came out, she picked up the document, frowning. I got up and went to her, curious. It was a medical report or something like that, but something was wrong. The name of the patient on that sheet didn't exist, seriously, not even the date. There was no record of who had sent it, as if the fax had connected to somewhere between the present and nothingness. The words on the document were scrambled. Some sentences didn't seem to make sense, as if they were fragments of a larger text but incomplete. It was disturbing. It must be a network error. But I realized that she was also unsettled by what happened. A sequence of numbers that didn't seem to match any kind of code or identification that she knew. We tried to forget about it. She crumpled up the paper and threw it away. But I could never stop thinking about it. Who could this patient be who wasn't there? Could he be on another plane, being cared for by doctors we couldn't see, and that the document was generated because of that? The device communicated with the other world, man. Days later, one night, when my mom got home, she said that the people at work, they didn't use that fax machine anymore. It wasn't even working. This experience further proves the existence of the supernatural, according to them. I never returned out of fear for my mom's safety. Guys, I released a new comic in the store, Cartoon Cat vs. Siren. It's a story that takes place in a land destroyed by these bizarre creatures, and it shows the fight between these two titans. Who will be the winner of this battle is the big question we all want to know. And if you don't know, we have the story of Leo and Grandma in an adventure against the forces of evil. Children from the neighborhood are mysteriously disappearing. What could be happening? Will Leo and Grandma be able to solve this mystery? We have other comics too. Add this WhatsApp from the store and we will assist you. My name is Brandon, and ever since I was a child, the stories my grandfather told always gave me chills. He was a quiet man, but when he started to talk, it was impossible not to pay attention. Among all the stories, one always scared me more than the others. The one about Mr. Bygold, a loan shark who, if you didn't have the money to pay him, would charge you something more valuable than money itself. This man, Brandon, he shows up when you need him the most. He will give you any amount you want, without asking anything, but when it's time to pay, if you don't have it, you'll have problems. I never knew if that was real or if my grandfather was just trying to scare me so I wouldn't get into trouble. But on the last night I saw him, everything seemed different. He was sitting in the armchair, staring at the unlit fireplace. We think we can run, but no one escapes from Mr. Big Old Brandon. He murmured almost to himself, with a sadness I had never seen in him before. I stayed awake for hours, unable to sleep properly, thinking about my grandfather's words. When I finally fell asleep, I dreamed of a tall, thin man dressed in black with a hat that hid part of his face. He was standing in the corner of my room, looking at me with empty eyes and a smile that cut through the darkness. I woke up gasping and sweating cold. Everything felt like a nightmare. But the feeling that something was wrong didn't leave me. I got up and went straight to my grandfather's room, hoping he was sleeping peacefully. But I found him lying down. I called for him, but he didn't answer, man. I touched his hand, cold as ice. My grandfather was gone. During the night, without making a sound or giving any warning, it was like he just simply left. Taken away by some ghost from the past. I stood there, feeling the enormous emptiness. I looked around for some clue. Something that could explain what I was feeling. But I only found silence. The next morning, while the family gathered to mourn their loss, I went to his room and rummaged through the drawers of his closet. I found an old notebook that he was always fiddling with. I flipped through the pages until I found some kind of contract. The one with my grandfather's name and a smudge signature. By Mr. Bigold. The final clause was there, clear as day. If the payment is not made, the debtor's soul will be mine. Everything made sense now. The fear in my grandfather's eyes and the hurried prayers before bed, the deep sighs he let out when he thought no one was watching. He was running from a debt he couldn't pay, and that night, Mr. Bigold finally came to collect. Since then, I haven't been able to sleep well. The presence I felt in my dreams seemed real, as if he was still watching me. Sometimes I think I see a shadow move in the corner of my room, or I hear a distant voice calling me. Did Senor Bigold stop by here? Is he waiting for me now? Or will he come back so I can pay something that was left pending? I hope you guys enjoyed this bizarre subscriber story, and if you want to send a story to appear in this segment, just send it to this email here, look, inscritoslayo@gmail.com, alright? I'm heading out now, bye.